Good evening, everyone. Thursday night here on the channel. That means Redline Racing, Cory Harts Media Premier Series racing action as the drivers face their first road course challenge of the season here at Circuit of the Americas, Austin, Texas's very own road course right in the heart of the capital of the state. This track is very technical compared to the tracks we've gone to over the last few seasons in terms of road course campaigns. We've been to Daytona Road Course, been to Charlotte Roval, and Watkins Glen has been a regular visitor on our schedule, but this is our first return to this track since season number 4, and bringing the next-gen car here, some unknowns for these drivers to get ready to try and tackle this course here. Only 2 minutes left until qualifying right now. We'll be watching to see how these guys do here on the track, and looking at the times right now, there's a speedy car out there right now. It's Dylan Ault taking the top of the leaderboard, best score time of 2:10.43 for him, and then looking at Luke Peters in the 50, a 2:11.85. So we'll see if the speed translates over to qualifying. We know it can be tricky trying to get this car around these tracks, especially with the very, very tight track limits around this massive speedway. We'll see if they're able to get those clean times down and be able to get themselves in the right position when we get ready for qualifying here and eventually get to our race, which in terms of the length of this race, pretty sprint type race here. We're moving through this track pretty quickly here, but again, you're going to be really tidy getting around this track, know where the track limits are, know how to hit your marks just right, be able to get your time on the board. Jordan Coons back in third position. He's there with a good time on the board, a 2:12.33 for him. Alexander Hayder back in the 4th spot, and Aaron Brown in the top 5, 2:13.15 for him. So seeing that window be about a 2:10 to 2:13, and what's notable about Dylan Ault, he did go to victory lane the last time we were here in Austin, Texas in the league. He swept the 2 stages that we had during season number 4 and went on to victory lane, leading almost 2 dozen laps during our night here at this track, and already showing that strong speed here. One of our eNASCAR iRacing Coca-Cola Racing Series drivers making an appearance down here running a full-time campaign and showing why he is among the elites here on the iRacing service, already dropping some fast speed here at the track. Only a few seconds left until we get to the beginning of the qualifying session. We'll be watching these guys coming off this corner in particular once we get ready for the race, and of course when we get done with our stage, seeing if any drivers before that will decide to duck in to get a quick change of tires and maybe use some track position to their advantage. And this is the other key section we'll be watching, that hill climb up into turn 1, down the hill, way down into turns 2, 3, 4. That kind of S-curve where you're rocking that next-gen car back and forth until we get into turns 6 and 7, start climbing that hill, and then heading back down into turn 11. So a lot of things we'll be watching here. First thing we got to watch is the clock. Qualifying coming up here next here on the channel, and we'll be watching to see what these drivers do in terms of how they're going to approach this place. When you watched the race here a couple weeks ago, you saw these drivers in real life just swing these cars out wide. All the real estate they tried to use every bit of it, and it's fine generally. There were some areas NASCAR was watching, but we did see them get really, really racy out there trying to get everything they can out of these cars. You see some drivers already working their way through that hairpin turn. It's going to be a key area for these drivers on the start. Here on iRacing, it's going to be a little more difficult here. That racing line is very, very, very tight. You need to stay on it. You can't use those curbs to your advantage or try and stray from the racing surface. Working through turns 3, 4, and 5 is Jordan Coons coming out, heading toward turn 6 now. Gotta watch him as well. He's one of those drivers who's always been pretty strong on the road courses. He gets in the sand trap there because that cross track hopefully doesn't get anyone's way. Very limited time on the clock for these drivers right now as Aaron Brown works his way past there, going up the hill. This is coming up toward turn number 9 and 10. They work their way down. There's Dylan Ault right there making the pass going down the hill here. But as I was referring to, you really cannot get up on these curves here. Not just because of the fact they're going to make this car pretty uncomfortable, but it's also going to be the fact that you're going to get a penalty here. In qualifying, it's got to be a clean time on the track in order for you to be able to get your time on the board, and you're going to want to try and avoid making those mistakes here. The drivers making their way down this long straightaway here. If they're able to stay together, this would be a great drafting opportunity to try and set up the pass going into turn number 12. You see just ahead of him there, the 24 working his way into that corner there, that sharp left-hander there. It's a tricky section here. You're very slow through the gears here, just kind of creeping through this part of the track. We know this is the part of this course where we saw A.J. Allmendinger and Ross Chastain get a little racy here. The bumps coming from AJ Allmendinger going in this section of track. Eventually, it results again what we saw happen right at the exit of turn number 19 and 20. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do. Coming around, most of them getting ready to start their first lap on the board here at Circuit of the Americas. Coming down this hill here, you're really just being methodical in terms of how you're applying the gas and the brake in these cars. Even though these are a new car, they're still a NASCAR stock car. They can be a handful on these road courses. We'll hop in with Dylan Ault as he starts to make his way down toward those S's here as he now makes that turn and heads down toward the straightaway here. Start finish line just off of the exit of turn number 20, and they begin that hill climb. You see it's a rise up that track. You see the 55, another one of our strong road course racers, Freddie Gardner, making an appearance here as Dylan Ault makes his way up into turn 1 and down the hill, top and ride along with him, kind of see what he sees as he makes his way around this track. So right now we're riding low in that 40 car through this section. This basically turns 3, 4, 5, and 6. You wrap on those curves there, using it to his advantage, get you some information there as well. Get that dashboard. Let's watch what gears he's using as well. Riding in second gear through most of this section. Don't want to apply the gas too aggressively here. Really just being very methodical, gentle with the amount of gas you're applying here, but trying to keep the car wound up. Very clean exit as he works his way up into turn 9, down this hill on the 10, and you see a car getting sideways there. It's a hug right next to that curbing, and this is the hard braking section right there into turn number 11. This tight hairpin. We saw them in the Cup Series swing out there, and the trucks in Xfinity as well, swing out there wide to get the momentum. Can't do that here in this car, especially in qualifying. Making his way down the straightaway here. And get some good speed down this part of the track here. Probably the fastest you'll go at any point during the course of your run here this evening. About 173 before he's back in the brakes here. We'll hop in and ride along with them. This is turn 12, heading toward 13, 14, and 15. This tight little corridor here toward the, I'd say the second half of the track now. And using those rumble strips to his advantage, but not wanting to deviate too far from the racing line here. Swinging out a little bit wide there before bringing it back into the apex, and then really beginning to apply that gas. So you're in first gear. That can be tricky to get that power back down, but he's able to do it here, really just managing that throttle. You see him just working very gently to get up to speed, but not getting those tires to spin on him. As now he works down into turn number 19, and we'll pick him up here on the camera coming out of the turn number 19 corridor. You'll see him dropping down. That's the entrance of pit road there on the right side of the screen, and that's turn 20 where he'll come around and hopefully get a lap time on the board. And riding along with him, great visibility to be able to see what he was able to do there around his track. So he's sitting on a pole right now, 2:10.65. Alexander Hayder working his way around the track up into turn number 1 in the 84. And down the hill here, Corey Rexford on the board with a 2:15.31. So the time slowly coming in here. I think they're slowly coming in because drivers are inadvertently hitting those track limits, and that is going to invalidate your lap time. And we only have about 4 minutes, 40 seconds left in qualifying. So that means you're really be up on the clock of trying to get back around this track and then be able to get that lap in. So far, 2 times on the board right now. Alexander Hayder working his way up the hill right around turn number 9 down to turn 10. Jordan Coons, a multi-time podium finisher on road courses, still hasn't gotten that Premier Series road course win yet. Multiple wins on ovals, but still one of those drivers who's been very consistent on the oval tracks there. He's right there on that grass. He's going to go ahead and get back down to the apex of the corner and swing it out onto those rumble strips there. Looking at his performance, 2 podiums, 5 top 5s on road courses so far in his career, and let's see if he gets a position, a time on the board here. That will move him up into, let's see if he gets it. He doesn't look like he has a time here, so we have to try again. 3 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock, and he'll spin it around. He's got to figure something out here as Rizzero snakes by. Landon Mills on the board with a 2:13.52, so still about 2.8 seconds away from pole sitter Dylan Ault, who's just showing tremendous speed here in his 40 Chevrolet. 4 Chevrolets inside the top 5. Cody Webster has yet to put a time on the board right now, and we're still waiting for more drivers to put times in. Like I said, the clock ticking right now for these drivers. Watching Landon Mills work his way around this track here. I'm really curious to see how aggressive these drivers are going to be in terms of passing. When I'm looking at the times on the board right now, only 3 so far it's kind of showing me we may have multiple races breaking out in terms of like smaller battles on track. It's not going to be everyone on top of each other here. Dylan Ault already showing he has really got an understanding of this next-gen car. But then you have the likes of Landon Mills and the 213s, Corey Rexford there, the 215s, or the 215.31 clocked in there a few moments ago. It's going to be interesting to see, can we see multiple groups of racing here, or will this field get really strung out as this run goes on, especially when you start to get to drivers who may struggle in terms of tire management. That is such a key part of driving these NASCAR stock cars around these different road courses. Tire management, we've already heard it enough from the ovals, but it really comes to the fore when you're talking about these road courses, being able to conserve your equipment around this track. You see the clock ticking down. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left in qualifying, so really time running out for a lot of these drivers who have yet to clock in a time here. Colton Light's now clocking in 2:20.37. That is 9 seconds behind Dylan Ault right now. So seeing these drivers really trying to figure out how to play catch up here and get themselves in position and maybe try to get a good finish here. This could be a time where we have a smaller field for this race right now, just over a dozen or so cars currently scored as being in the session here. This could be a chance to get yourself some points and be able to move your way up in the standings as well. Other drivers we'll be watching here, Rizzero on the board just ahead of Landon Mills. That moves up to the second position, 1.4 seconds behind our pole sitter right now. No one coming out of turn number 20 right now. There's one driver making their way in. As we watch more drivers head down the hill, as I was thinking about Rizzero, great time for him. He's been one of those drivers who's been very strong on this course in particular. He finished runner-up to Dylan Ault the last time we were here back in season number 4. Good run for him. He's gotten a couple of top 5s on road courses, finished 5th at both Indy Road and Watkins Glen. So we'll be watching Rizzero to see if he's able to kind of get himself in position and try and, establish himself inside the top 5 here. He's already gone to victory lane this season, finally breaking through, getting a victory back at Auto Club Speedway, his first Premier Series win here in the series, which if you followed us enough, you would find that stat to be very surprising, that he has not gone to victory lane yet until he got to Auto Club a few weeks ago. So congratulations to him. And now looking to sit as outside pole sitter for tonight's race. See Landon Mills working his way down the long straightaway here. Other drivers making their way around this track. The 19, Nick Miller, one of those drivers you have to keep your eye on road courses as well. He finds his way to get into the mix here, sitting in 5th position, 2:14.07 for him. 19 making one of his first starts of the season there. About 7 times on the board so far. Looking at the difference you see between 1st and 7th, 9 seconds right now. But seeing that mid-pack form in that group, seeing everyone kind of come together right around Rizzero, Mills, getting a little closer, and then another pack forming right there around Peters, Miller. And considering only 8 times on the board right now so far, of course, we'll have a little bit of run over here as we finished qualifying. We'll see if more drivers slot into these different packs we'll probably have form up here. But Dylan Ault really already establishing himself as the driver, the favorite to win this race here this evening. After winning the pole last time we were here, sweeping the stages and leading 18 of 28 laps, he's looking to begin to repeat history here this evening in Season 6 of the Cory Harts Media Premier Series. Coming down the hill off 18 into turn number 19 and getting loose there, and that's going to be a hard hit into the wall there for the 19. Freddie Gardner, 7-time winner back in season number 5, making one of his first starts this season. Down the hill, down to turn number 11. Gotta watch him. He's a multi-time road course winner. He's got 2 wins, at least, at Watkins Glen in his career here in the series. And he won Watkins Glen, leading 15 of 40 laps. If you want to talk about a thrilling battle we saw back earlier in the season of season number 5 between him and Jordan Coons. They put on a dogfight back at Watkins Glen International early in that season. A really impressive race by those two, really neck and neck. It came down to pit strategy that ultimately determined which driver was able to go to victory lane there. Good to see him making it out here for tonight's race. Currently on the board right now with a 2:16.39 for him. So he's got to find a little more speed if he wants to try and run with the likes of Dylan Ault, Michael Rizzero, Landon Mills, and others who are just ahead of him. But that doesn't mean strategy won't come into play during the course of this evening's races. Things begin to wind down here at the track, and we wait for the transition for sessions here. And of course, we'll go over the race information for tonight's race once we get to the race session. And be able to profile our pole sitter, which will most likely be Dylan Ault there with a blistering lap time of 2:10.65 out of him, and that's just impressive speed here. The drivers were just here on the iRacing service not too long ago, and this could have been an opportunity for some of these guys who took part in some of those official races to go ahead and just, bring that knowledge with them and be able to use that to their advantage here on the track this evening. And we'll certainly be watching that as we get ready for the changeover to the race session, obviously letting the drivers who may be still out there getting their last bit of a lap in to get across the line and finish up here this evening. And so far, according to scoring, looks like right now not much track action. So we'll go ahead and take a look at the upcoming schedule for you guys, because while we're doing some road course races, we got a fun 2 weeks in at Bristol coming up here momentarily. Let's go ahead and pull it up for you and show you that schedule. You see, we got Dover on the schedule here, one of my favorite tracks on the schedule. The Landon Mills Designs Dover 130 coming up here next week. Cannot wait to head back to Dover Down. That's going to be a fun track there. And then got 2 weeks at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to do some dirt track racing here in 2 weeks, and then we'll have the Jones Racing Setups race night on the asphalt track immediately after that, and that'll serve as a great lead-in to our all-star race at Nashville Super Speedway, the Music City All-Star Showdown. It's going to be a fun night. We've seen how exciting the racing can be at that track when we talk about just regular season racing. If you go back to last season when this track debuted on the service, man alive, it's going to be a fun night of racing when we do that. And that's going to be for bragging rights, probably some money on the side as well. And then you see further down the schedule, Las Vegas, the Drake's Breaks 158 coming on board as a sponsor. We'll look forward to profiling them when we get to that race. The Landon Mills Designs Darlington 199, and going to Homestead for a little bit as we get closer and closer to the end of the regular season, and got a lot of good races coming up on the docket for you guys. But right now, getting ready for what should be a fun night of racing here at this beautiful track here. I love Circuit of the Americas. It's a fun track to run. And when you're talking about this place, you talk about how technical it is. The Formula One cars sail around here like it's nothing. That downforce keeps them grounded in this track. These guys are going to have a tall order here trying to swing these lumbering big old cars around this track, but I'm certain these drivers can do it. And the driver who's done it pretty well here so far, as the camera focuses on him, it's going to be that driver right there, Dylan Ault, finally getting himself on the front row for this evening's race. He's the pole sitter for the Redline Racing Austin Grand Prix with a 2:10.65, an impressive lap out there. Very good to get himself on the pole here. Repeating history the last time we were here, he was on pole as well. Michael Rizzero will start in the second position. Landon Mills making one of his first starts, starts third. Luke Peters, Nick Miller, the top five. Aaron Brown, Corey Rexford, Brody Gardner, Colton Lights, Jordan Coons, Sartaj Mann heading back to 11th. Cory Harts, Alexander Hayder, Cody Webster, Malachi Drake, and Latham Joyner will be among the drivers starting tonight here at Circuit of the Americas. It's going to be a great night of racing. You see, it's only 34 laps. This is going to fly by for these drivers, and let's go ahead and walk through the race information for this evening's event. Obviously here at Circuit of the Americas, as I keep saying, I love this place. 34 laps for about 116.5 miles. This track is 3.4 miles overall, or 5.51 kilometers for our fans of the metric system. 20 turns around this place, and I tell you, I've tried to study them to make sure I say the right ones as we work through our evening here. They'll have two sets of tires waiting for them on pit road, and we'll have that stage caution after 13 laps, and we'll certainly be able to watch and see if any drivers opt to duck in here and play that strategy, get an extra, and go ahead and make that stop early to try and get the track position later. A lot of things we'll be watching for here, and as you see, back on April 15th of 2021, Dylan Ault went to victory lane here. He won the pole, he swept the stages, and took the trophy here in Austin, Texas. So as these drivers begin to work their way around the track, we'll go ahead and talk about some of the keys to the race as we look toward this evening. It's the setup presented by Jones Racing Setups. So this is the first challenge for these drivers on the road course in these cars here in the series. So left and rights ahead, a lot of them, 20 of them to be exact. We're going to see how these drivers adapt. Looking at the times, they are very stratified here. There's kind of a pretty big gap there. We saw in qualifying from about 1st to 7th was 9 seconds. So now that we'll see if these drivers who are a little further back, who didn't get a lap in, are able to work their way up to the field, how will that affect things? But still, this can be a test for these drivers here this evening. The road course ringers. There's some tough road course drivers out here. Obviously, Dylan Ault the class of the field coming into this race right now, and the previous winner at this track, Jordan Coons, while winless here in the Premier Series in terms of going to victory lane on a road course, one of the most consistent out there. And you got Freddie Gardner here as well, a multi-time road course winner. Staying on track. You don't want to rack up all those penalties there, rack up any incidents. You want to try and finish this race as clean as possible. We'll see how aggressive they are. Will they just say, forget it, and just swing those cars out there wide? And then we talk about 4 for 4 on the different winners. You've had 4 different winners so far. Will we see a 5th this evening? We've got one of our winners up there back at Auto Club on the front row with Michael Rizzero. We'll see what happens. Their record is still 5 back in season number 3. Getting ready for the green flag here to work their way past the grandstand and get ready to roar to life as they climb the hill here. I love this place. This is going to be so much fun. We're underway here at Circuit of the Americas, and they're already fanning out as they climb up toward turn number 1. Off the track there, Dylan Ault goes around. They're wrecking. They're just wrecking. We'll just go ahead and call it what it is. That's just everyone wrecking there. Chaos as they try to get up to speed through that part of the track. Everyone's just fine. Dylan Ault falls back from 1st to 7th in the first corner. Michael Rizzero from 2nd to 12th right now as they work down into turns 3, 4, and 5. Capitalizing on all of that, that driver right there, Sartaj Man, working his way around the track here. So massive calamity there. They finally get it sorted out here. As now they look to get up to speed here and work their way around this track down the hill off of turn number 9, and it looks like our pole sitter is out of the race. Now for 2nd underway here, and we'll do a replay and look at that again to see exactly what happened, but it looks like drivers overshot that hill climb. If you go back to Charlotte Roval and kind of the syndrome, I'll call it, that happens there, you have a tendency when you're coming out of that section of track at kind of a lower speed, you misjudge your approach, and you saw some drivers overdrive there. Man alive. So right now, here's kind of the setup. Sartaj Man out front, Aaron Brown up to 2nd. Sartaj Man gained 10 spots. Out of all that here, Aaron Brown up 4, Cory Harts up 9. Let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened there. We'll try and wrap the footage back, so bear with me here, because I was not expecting that to happen at all. We'll go ahead and just take us back to the green flag here and just take a quick look at this here and watch this hill climb. So they get up to speed here. Green flag is out. Lights are on. We're rolling here. They begin this hill climb. You see it here. We'll get our eyes focused on Dylan Ault here. And just the car goes around and just right in front of the pack. Everyone goes wide and just nothing they can do from there. A lot of cars going off track as a result of this. Rizzero involved at 55, also involved at 25, trying to snake their way through it as well. Man alive, just issues for the 40 there, and he'll go ahead and just go off track and just call it a night. That's just unfortunate to see, and you like to see the drivers give their all and finish the race, but sometimes you just throw in a towel. Battle for the lead maybe getting underway here, lap number 2 as they climb the hill. Watching them here getting real racy as they work off toward this corner. Sartaj Man out front, the 18, Aaron Brown down the hill off turn number 2. 18 fighting to hang onto that car, and Cory Harts will grab his spot away as Alexander Hayder will now fight with the 18 as he goes around. 18 spins out here. Everyone is having some issues there. Keep it on the fence. He'll tap the fence there. Need to get it back going, get back on track. Still leading this race is Sartaj Man. Cory Harts closing in right now with Alexander Hayder. All 3 of these drivers in this group, they're up 10 spots as a result of the incidents affecting other drivers. And now the 57 goes around, locks it up, locks it down, keeps it off the wall. The saving grace here, he has a stage caution coming up here momentarily, but man, they're getting caught right now. 13 laps in the stage, we're already 2 laps in. We've seen our pole sitter already out of the race. Sartaj Man up 10 spots, Alexander Hayder up 11. Jordan Coons now up into the 3rd position. All these drivers right now all in each other's tire tracks. What a crazy start to this race. You'll see the battle for 2nd now as they, looks like the 84 was trying to see if something was there. Nothing available just yet, as now they work their way through 12, 13, and 14. Great shot here, kind of can just pan across this part of the track and see them working the apexes here. And Jordan Coons just slowly reeling this group in here as they head into turn number 15. This is a really slow part of the track. When we rode along with Dylan Ault, this was the first gear part of the track for him. Sartaj Man out front by about 0.5 of a second. And then Hayder got a lot of pressure coming from Jordan Coons here as they head down the hill toward 19. Jordan Coons, as I mentioned earlier, one of our strong drivers on road courses, 2 podiums, 5 top 5s on road courses. Already has a win this season back at Atlanta and 2 stage wins. And he's looking to try and make it 3 here as he's closing up, trying to close up on the 84, but he'll lose some time there off the corner, and now the 84 will look to try and challenge for the lead here on a climb up into turn number 1. This has been trouble city for these drivers. The 99 misses the corner. They all missed a corner through there. They somehow hang on to it. Jordan Coons capitalizes, though. He dives down, and he'll grab the lead here, climbing down the hill off 2 into 3. So seeing the corners catch these drivers off guard, seems like turn 1 is just trouble for these guys, and we have a whole nother restart coming up here in just about 10 laps. Well, they'll have to negotiate that again at a slower speed. So already seeing mistakes affect these drivers. Sartaj Man back to second position as Jordan Coons now heads up to the race lead. Looking further back in the field, inside the top 5, Luke Peters down 1 spot after all the calamity. One of the only drivers who's held relatively stable here after everything that's happened. He's sitting in the 5th spot right now, just ahead of him. Nick Miller on the 19, trying to close up on these guys. He's up 1 right now from where he started. And honestly, inside the top, inside 1 second of the leaders. You see him there just ahead, as now might have a battle for that lead there. You see the 99 trying to throw the block, close the door. Hayder is alongside, has the edge, heading down into turn 12. Will Coons give him the advantage here? Will allow him to take the spot? No, he'll fight back on the outside. You see the rotors glowing there. They swing that car out wide, nearly in the grass, but he'll keep it straight there. As the 84 gets sideways, trying to keep it wound up. He'll lose control of that car, dropping him back to 3rd. And now into the clutches of the 19 of Nick Miller. Pressure coming from behind. You see him using all that curbing there. The 1984 will just let him go by, and now back at the front, the 99 facing pressure from Sartaj Man. Man choosing the outside line there, goes really wide, which will give some room to the 99 heading down into 19. Great battling at the front here. In case you just missed the last couple of lap moments here, going in turn 1, first lap, we saw the pole sitter go around, have some issues, and ultimately ditches the race. As now lead change will take place. Great turn 20 for Sartaj Man. He'll grab the spot away, and now the 99 moving all the way down to the red and white up the climb toward turn number 1. Getting real racy here, trying to lock it down. You see Coons trying to get all he can out of that car, nearly locking it up there. Sartaj Man back out front as he head down off turn 2. Great battle for the lead here. Sartaj Man on the better side of it right now. The slow car there looks like Aaron Brown trying to stay on the lead lap there. Sartaj Man cuts the course. That may be a penalty there for him. So he may have served that penalty, but it still keeps Jordan Coons behind him as they work their way now toward this bit of a hill climb here. You see the elevation change. They're having to climb up toward number 9 and 10. Good run down the corner. Good momentum for the 99. Can he make a surge heading toward 11? Down the hill here, they swing out wide there. They're just throwing caution to the wind and using all the real estate they can to get the momentum they can. Different approach to the hairpin off 11. Great run there for the 99. Alternative strategy paying off for him, but now not able to get side by side there. The pressure remains on the back bumper of Sartaj Man. You see 2 other cars reeling themselves into the picture. Nick Miller and Alexander Hayder down, racing toward turn 12. Swinging out to the right goes Jordan Coons. The 49 trying to maintain the inside line. Bringing out ride, there may have been some contact there, banging doors here in Austin. But Jordan Coons will muscle his way back to the front, heading through this tricky section. May have been a love tap there through this corner. We've seen that a time or two here. In real life, we'll see if history repeats itself here. We're only 4 laps into the race here in Austin, and lunging down to the inside, another bump to the quarter panel. That's on the Jordan Coons. Sartaj Man trying to still keep the fight on the 99. Rolling their way through turns 16, 17, and 18. Down the hill into 19. We know this can be a tricky section of track for these drivers. He fights them off there, and he'll swing out wide again. Gets a great bit of speed there. Not able to carry it forward into 20 for right now. He'll drive it low into that corner. Will it pay off for him there? He'll get some good momentum off the corner, and now he'll go ahead and go back to the lead again. So we're seeing this strategy pay off of trying to keep that car as wound up as they can, just forgetting about incidents. They're not worried about those right now, as now they're dogfighting into turn 1. Tight to the inside. That pays off for Sartaj Man. He goes back out front here again. Great road course racing here out of the 49 and the 99. Sartaj Man won at least one race back during our time here in the official series for Circuit of the Americas when the schedule rolled around there, winning in the B car at that track. So he knows how to run around here, but Jordan Coons, a very esteemed road racer himself, along with Nick Miller and Alexander Hayder. These guys are all within a second of each other, and then you see just a little further away Luke Peters right in the middle of things as well. So a nice little group there as Aaron Brown has issues coming off the corner. Don't want to take our eyes off this thrilling battle for the lead. Will Jordan Coons use his alternative strategy to 3, getting out of the way there? Is look at all these cars on top of each other here. Great move there. The 99 able to grab the spot away. Will have to go to instant defense here to hold back the 49. 5 laps in, Jordan Coons back out front. Nick Miller right in the thick of things as well, reeling these drivers in. Inside the top 4, 3 of these drivers have all gained 9 spots so far tonight. And now a bit too hot there in the corner. They both missed the corner. Nick Miller leaps to the lead. Oh my goodness, that looked like one of the moments back at COTA last year. We had the rain. You missed the corner, you lose a spot. So now Sartaj Man will go from 1st to 5th as a result. And King coming out on top of all that is Nick Miller, taking the position away and looking to lead him off into turn 17. Man alive, I love road course racing. This is so much fun. Down the hill, off of 18 down to 19. Will Jordan Coons try and size up the 19 heading into this corner? 19 through 19, the 99 in close pursuit. These drivers giving it their all here right now. Good rotation through the corner. Jordan Coons, you see him through the windshield fighting with that car, trying to get that grip in, working that wheel back and forth. Coming across the line, Nick Miller will lead that lap. Sartaj Man back up to the 4th position. And now you see him lunging to the inside. Down low goes the 99. And down the hill they go. He's just having a lot of trouble keeping that car up to speed through that corner. That vulnerability from the 99 will cost Nick Miller another position there. He'll fall back to 3rd as Alexander Hayder is now back up to 2nd. Great racing here, and Sartaj Man, after his issues, missed the corner with Jordan Coons earlier in the race. Now he's about, looking at the scoring here, about 2.4 from the leader, 1.8 away from the next car. He's got a whole side panel full of the 50. He's giving them some hell going up this hill here. The 50 looking very stout. Look at him nearly making contact there. Maybe a bit of a bump to the door as they go up the hill through turn number 9, down to 10. In the grass goes the 50 down the hill off of turn 10 into 11. Using all that real estate here, they're fighting for all they have. By the way, we're not even at the end of the stage yet. This is not for the win. We still have a stage caution coming up here in only about a half dozen laps or so. These guys are laying it all out there. Here, this is a battle for the 4th position right now. Incredible run right now as we now go look back at the race leaders here, breaking away just a little bit. Jordan Coons finding some room here to be able to get some time to breathe. Alexander Hayder up in the 2nd position. Great running here as we're watching these drivers work their way through the last few corners here. This is basically right now turns 13, 14 into 15. A very key braking section. We saw some drivers overdrive coming into this corner in 12 the last lap. A lot more tidy now through this part of the track. Sartaj Man continuing to lose touch with these drivers there. He is 4 seconds away from race leader Jordan Coons. Man, that was exciting. That was fun. Watching these guys throw these cars around this track here. Oh my goodness, that was so much fun. Sorry if I was shoutcasting there. I just love road course racing so much, and this brings out a different side of me here off turn 20. This has been a kind of a problem area here for Jordan Coons, not able to get the power down off of turn number 20 and also on turn number 1. So we'll see if this leaves him vulnerable here again, as we saw Alexander Hayder peeking, seeing if there was anything there up this hill. Look at those rotors glowing there on the 84. Everything calm and peaceful down here. Much better roll through that corner for the 99. Maybe when he has some of that pressure off, he's able to settle that car down a little bit more. He has some room to breathe. working their way through turns 3, 4, and 5. You see, there's the gap back to Sartaj Mann and Luke Peters. That battle cooling down a bit as well. Get that map up there for you so we can keep our eye on where all these drivers are running as well. Now that we're settled down here, things cool down a bit. You can see how big this track is. So that's why I bring up the fact, could we see some drivers really opt to try and do the early pit strategy here and just get that car on the pit road, get it serviced, and then stay out when the stage caution comes out here. Ooh, really hot there to that corner as Alexander Hayder keeps it off the back bumper of Jordan Coons. That'll cost some time though, potentially. Trying to reel it back in here. It's about 0.8 of a second now, down to 7 between himself and the 99. Nick Miller remaining in the tire tracks of both of them, as well as Sartaj Mann continues to fall back here, likely just overshooting the corner as well. I think these tires are beginning to fade away from these drivers. Michael Rizzero, we talked about him. He was involved in that first lap, first turn incident where we saw drivers kind of go off track. I think he even ended up in the sand trap there at one point. Rizzero now back up into the 6th position. I would say mitigating a lot of the damage lost there considering this road course here. Able to drive his way back up through the field here. And now he is right there working his way, trying to close up a little bit more on the cars in front of him. The next target he has would be Sartaj Mann. That's still 4 seconds away. You see him now working there toward turn number 16. Got some time to try and close up there. And just behind him, Cory Harts up 5 spots tonight. We saw him get racy there for the lead. Not able to hold it much. Tried to get up there and race with them. Fell back a bit, but still up 5 on the night. A lot of drivers gaining a ton of position out here this evening. Cory Harts, another strong road course racer. We know he's very good on these ovals and especially the short tracks. You gotta watch him when you're at the short tracks. He's a very, very strong road course racer. One of those great drivers you want to have in your car when you're on iRacing doing these special events, these endurance races. That's a driver you want to have as a teammate there. Currently sitting in the 7th position, up 5 on the night. That's the driver who's gained the most positions this evening. That's 11 spots for the 84 of Alexander Hayder. He wants to make it 12 here as they work their way snaking through turns 3 through 6 right now. Trying to close up there a little bit, and you see that gap just for a moment between the field and Sartaj Mann from the haves to the have-nots for the 49 back to 5th. But Hayder having a strong run here, started the season off in a promising note and has had some slip-ups there, and now seeing him have a very, very strong performance here so far tonight at Circuit of the Americas, trying to close up on the back over with Jordan Kuntz. We'll go ahead and pull up the information and look at that leader in comparison. We'll see if we can get that pulled up for you guys. Look at the lap time comparison, you see it there. A little bit faster was Jordan Kuntz our last time by, and then you see Kuntz a little bit slower there. We're looking at the comparison between Hayder and the 99, but still holding around the 215, 214 range for these drivers as they head down into turn number 12. So we've got a few drivers on pit road right now. Sartaj Mann making a pit stop here. That could be an unscheduled stop. He's been in that stall for a long time here, and we'll keep our eyes on him and see if he's able to rejoin the track. Remember, he was leading some parts of this race. And then after getting a little hot into turn number 12 there with Jordan Kuntz, he really just kind of fell back from the group. So may have had another issue there later in the run, and he was in a great spirited battle with Luke Peters for that 4th position. Might have another spirited battle here momentarily as we watch the 99 and the 84 get right up to up close and personal with each other. They have both stretched out to about a 3.3 second lead over Nick Miller there, so the gap really beginning to grow out there for these drivers. And may see a lunge there to the inside. Can the 84 hold it? The outside line normally prevails there, having the momentum. The 99 able to put the power down just right. He'll stay out front here. And those rotors were glowing there on the 84. Let's go ahead and hop in with him and ride along as he goes into this corner. The lunge looking to the inside. Side by side here, I think they missed the corner. Real wide there, the 99 kicking that rear out. Hayder will prevail in that situation. Kuntz falls back to 2nd. Man alive, they're laying it all out there here. So now Jordan Kuntz falls back to about 0.9 of a second behind the 84, snaking their way through turns 3 through 6. A little further back, Nick Miller in the 19, still holding tied with this group. He's about 2.4 away from Jordan Kuntz, and then 2 seconds behind him is Luke Peters. As a result of Sartaj Mann making an extended stop here, still in his pit stall here, that driver is now back up into the top 5. That's Michael Rizzero, one of our strong road course racers here. runner-up back at this track only back in season number 4. He knows how to get around this place, and now back inside the top 5, this can take some of the pressure off of trying to claw your way back out of this hole that you were in after that incident going to turn 1. You see the damage on the car as they pass by us on the exit of turn 11. Kind of the back end crushed in there, but still really wheeling that car around. What I want to do now is go ahead and pull up and show you the best lap times out of these drivers, and I get a snapshot here of who's fastest right now in terms of the best lap. You see Jordan Coons right now, the drivers on track, best lap of 2:13.44, and then you see a bunch of 2:14s. Look at the last time by. Pretty much everyone in that same window right now inside the top 5, 2:14s. For Alexander Hayder, Jordan Coons, Michael Rizzero, Luke Peters. I'm really excited that this group can kind of come together and end up racing each other. This could give us a thrilling finish here in Texas. Looking at the gap information, still out front by about 0.7 of a second is Alexander Hayder. Jordan Coons trying to close up there after a hotly contested battle going into turn number 1 with Hayder coming out on the good side of that old duel there. And then Nick Miller back in the 3rd position, slowly reeling these guys in here. We'll do a lap time comparison when they come by us here and see what it looks like in terms of what the lap times were for these drivers as they climb that hill. We know they lost some time there for some of these guys. Wait for an update there. Let's see who's fastest. And it looks like Nick Miller, 2:13.86 for him, 2:15 for Jordan Coons. Now he gets in there a little hot. These tires are giving up on these drivers, and that's something we kind of talked about here, staying on track, and this is part of the strategy. Staying on track is so important when we bring up that information, the setup for tonight's race. You got to stay on course. You cannot go off track too often here because you'll lose so much momentum, and we were watching Nick Miller slowly reeling these guys in within about 2.5 seconds, and now that's dwindled back down to 3.8 right now, nearly 4, putting him back into the clutches of Luke Peters, who's having a stellar run this evening with 25 to go. Gotta stay on track here. Jones Racing Setups helping us explain all of that as we work our way toward the end of the stage here. As they race by us here in this part of the track, swinging that camera around, you see the gap has dropped between Coons and Hayder. At 84, looking stout out front right now. We've got a whole camera, we'll say, full of Jordan Coons there. We say camera because obviously we have different configurations of these next-gen cars. Those are mirrors, those are rear-facing cameras. Hard on the brakes there, the rotors are glowing heading down into turn number 12, off into 13, a slow lumbering section. But if you know how to approach, you can close up very well here, and Jordan Coons trying to cut into that lead here as the 84 is a little more conservative rolling through this section of track. And there you go, lunging, peaking there, pressuring the 84, forcing a reaction. He'll get one as now they'll duel heading off into turn 16. Man alive, great side-by-side battle down this hill into turn number 19. Great dogfight here as they work down to the corner. The 84 will prevail as they head down into this corner. We've already seen how dicey it can get into turn number 1. Will history repeat itself again heading off in that corner? They're heading there now. Crossing the line for lap number 10. They are flying around this track right now, and it is a great show for you guys right now. It's a good evening of racing on a road course, and not able to hold pace after getting a good run off the corner. It's going to be, whoa, lunging. Whoa, I thought he couldn't hold that position. Can he hang on to it? He will not. Having a sluggish turn 20 turned into a ferocious turn 1, but the 99 can't carry the momentum forward. He'll have to settle for 2nd position for now. These drivers still giving it their all. 3.7 back to Nick Miller, and then Luke Peters back into 4th spot. Rizzero, he's 10 seconds of sail of these drivers right now, even with the issues he had on the track right now, back inside the top 5 and only 10 seconds away from this battle for the lead. Down the hill, coming past us in turn number 10, heading into 11. Such a key part of the track. Tires are giving up, brakes are being funny. Can they keep the momentum in this car? Look at the 99 peaking low, seeing what's there. Nothing there right now, but he'll get that gap down to about 0.6 of a second heading down the backstretch. Such an important section of track for these drivers. We'll get our eyes on Jordan Coons here and bring up that dashboard. How much speed is he carrying down into that corner? 168, 170, 172 was about where he topped out there heading into the corner, and nearly contact there between them. May have been contact maybe the 99 having some good sportsmanship, letting the 84 back on the track there. And now we continue to watch these drivers work their way around the interior section, I guess, of the final third of this racing surface. My goodness, they're just laying it all out there, swinging wide, heading off into turn 15 as Coons gets that lead back down to about half a second. And now 0.6 of a second as they work over the hill through turns 17 and 18. Some great racing here right now and a great show for you guys. I know it's a smaller field, but man, we're getting a great duel for the lead here as the 99 swings out wide off of turn number 19. He needs to work on, if he wants to win this thing, Alexander Hayder is really applying great pressure coming off this corner and heading up into turn number 1. Really one of the best we've seen so far this evening of attacking that corner. Can he do it here again? Can he play defense? He's out to about nearly a second over the 99. He takes a little more of a conservative approach. High and tidy there. The 99 tries to lunge, cuts into him, cuts that lead in half from when they were approaching the corner 2 exits, but the 84 able to hang on to the spot there. Working through turns 3, 4, and 5, and also 6 there, the exit of that corner. Nick Miller has begun to reel them in again. The lead now only about 2 seconds between first and third place. All right, well, Nick Miller there, up 2 spots so far this evening. He's climbing up through the standings here. After you saw the issue there, you saw the replay of that incident on turn number 1. We're going to try and replay that for you once we get that queued up. You can get another look at that, which was insane to see our pole sitter get involved in that and ultimately ending his night. But still, prevailing out of all of that here as he woes that car down hard on the brakes out of 11. Nick Miller up 2 spots, still moving his way through the field. But 23 to go here, the lead now about half a second between Alexander Hayder and Jordan Kuntz. A bunch of cars not too far away. This group that we see right now on the camera is all about within 3 seconds of each other heading down into turn 12. Hayder will keep the 99 behind him for now as they sail their way into these very technical, slow corners. Even though they are sluggish corners, you can really try and push that car and get some speed, and if you have confidence, that grip will be there. You can close up there pretty well. And we see Jordan Kuntz really driving that car aggressively through there, but a more effective exit off of turn 15 for the 84, helping him extend that lead out to now just about 7/10 and slowly fluctuating between those two. So now the lead roughly about where it was the last time these drivers entered turn number 1. What about 0.8 of a second? Right now 7/10 between Kuntz and Hayder. Kind of just bouncing back and forth between that figure right now. Pretty good corner there for Jordan Kuntz, able to cut that lead down just a little bit, but it'll still hold steady right around roughly 7/10 of a second. They sail up the hill here. We've seen them play games, play tricks to try and get each other to react and cut into that corner. Not able to do much there though. They'll come down the hill here. It'll go back to about 7/10 of a second, and Hayder doing a good job of holding these drivers at bay. As Cory Harts brings his car on the pit road here, we're right inside the window for the end of the stage. Could we be seeing Cory Harts playing some strategy here, pitting from the 6th position, up 6 spots tonight, and has shown he has the speed to run with some of these drivers toward the front. His last lap was a 2:15.81, and his best lap a 2:15.81, so really finding that speed as those tires come in. We'll keep our eyes on him here. He'll safely get off pit road and be able to get back on the track and not be at risk of going a lap down, but we're seeing some strategy play out here, at least early on. Back at the front, these drivers are heading down toward turn number 11. Alexander Hayder, he's your race leader right now, trying to win a stage here in only a few moments. He's got a whole windshield full of that 99 of Jordan Kuntz. Great battle here for this lead, and a great battle brewing potentially for that 3rd position not too far away as well. They'll pass by us here on the camera. You hear them roaring by. You see it just out of frame there as well. Camera switches and you see the 50. Look like you're seeing if there's anything there. Nothing he can try and get right now. So the 19 will settle in and have that 50 behind him for a little bit longer as they work their way around this section of the track here. And you see the battle for the lead still continuing here. Cory Harts back on the track after making that stop on lap number 12. So strategy call there. Maybe seeing some drivers play a bit of strategy here to try and get themselves in position. Also making a pit stop during that time is Corey Rexford as well. He decided to come in on lap 12 and made a 4-tire and fuel pit stop there on the 03. He's working his way through the interior section of the track, heading toward turn 7. And that'll be the end of the stage for us. Now the drivers get ready to head toward the final turn here, and the caution flag will be out for these drivers. That means getting ready for the end of the stage. This allows the pace car to go ahead and grab these drivers immediately upon crossing the finish line. So that means your stage winner is going to be that driver right there. You see the caution flag waving. Alexander Hayder capturing a stage win and becoming yet another different stage winner this season. It's been great seeing so many different stage winners be able to get victories here, and he'll join the ranks of them. 21 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas, and that driver right there, the 84, he's your stage winner here this evening. And we can now take a breather and reflect on what was an exciting bit of racing here in the Redline Racing Austin Grand Prix presented by Cory Harts Media. A chaotic start to our evening here at Circuit of the Americas. Really crazy, that crash that happened on lap number 1. But after that, it really just seemed like this race opened up, and we saw these drivers really laying it all out there here. Multiple lead changes as a run went on, and different faces going to the front here. And that's always fun to see on these road courses. I love being able to call great road course racing action. And the driver right there able to capture the stage win here. Alexander Hayder, he joins Aaron Plemons, Dylan Ault, and Jordan Coons in getting stage victories this season. So now, while these drivers are behind the pace car here, let's go ahead and take a look back at what happened to really shake up this field here. And I think that's the best way to put it. It was a shakeup, to say the least. And we'll go ahead and get this queued up for you. Got working here with the software, because when these drivers go on track, it fills up the feed here. So it's got to get to where this happened. We're going to go back right to the green flag and take a look at all of this here, because it was crazy. We're going to get our eyes on our pole sitter here right at the front. This is Dylan Ault. They're coming back to the start-finish line here, passing by those green lights there. It's lights out, and away we go. Up the hill, these drivers really is fanning out here, and just, we'll go ahead and just say calamity ensues. But the 99 has gotten a little hot there. The 19 even gotten hot. All these drivers seeming like they missed the corner. The 23, nowhere for him to go. And it's a pile up from there. It's a really simple way to put it. Just everyone going around. Some drivers think I'm in the sand trap there. It's unfortunate to see a bunch of drivers be caught up in that. You see drivers trying to snake their way around. Jordan Coons was also caught up in that whole situation. So look at this again here, going to that corner. We'll go ahead here and hop in and ride along with Michael Rizzero as he climbs the hill here. So he's an outside pole sitter coming into tonight's race. You see this car around by itself, and he gets tagged there. Nothing he can do, nothing he did wrong there. This car got tagged as he was trying to get back up to speed and avoid the spinning Dylan Ault, and he fell all the way back in the field as a result. And I'll take a look, one more look at it. So for those individuals who missed what happened, let's go and look at it from the blimp cam, the best view of this whole thing breaking out. So we're underway here at the track, and everyone fans out trying to get an advantage over each other. 3 wide coming up the hill, 4 wide a little further back, even a dose of 5 wide up there, and then just the 19 of the 40 missed the corner, and just a bunch of cars get caught up in that one. The 91 also involved the Cody Webster machine, the winner of the Clash earlier this season. Back to live pictures here. That's your stage winner, Alexander Hayder. Got the stage win over Jordan Coons. These drivers working through the final parts of the track here, coming off turn number 15. So expect to see them head to pit road here in a few moments. We did see some drivers play strategy, though. Cory Harts, Corey Rexford, all came to pit road there during that most recent, about around lap 12. They decided to come on in here, get 4 tires and fuel. May see them migrate to the front here as a result. So playing that early pit strategy to allow them to not have to come to pit road during the stage caution. So watching them work down into turn number 19. Their entrance to pit road sits just before the entry to turn number 20. So they are not too far away from that entrance, and they'll begin making their way into the pits here for the first time this evening for most of the field. You see the 99 heading off toward the entrance. Got a great vantage point here. The pace car staying out on the track, working past turn 20, and most of the field coming in here, including Cory Harts making a stop here right now. Cory Harts coming in, Corey Rexford also coming to the pits here. Interesting strategy call there as a bunch of the drivers make their way in. About 9 cars on pit road here, coming in to make their first stop of the night. A couple of drivers have already been to pit road for their stops a little bit earlier. Missing his box is the stage winner. So very interesting here. We'll keep our eyes on Cory Harts. Will he head out here? And he's already gone. That was a 5-second stop for him right now. Not very long on pit road for that driver right now, already leaving the pits with Rexford close in tow. That was a 5 and 4 second pit stop respectfully for them. And then Luke Peters, Jordan Coons, and Alexander Hayder falling off pit road. Very interesting strategy here. So likely just a quick splash of fuel, able to get back on the track. And now Cory Harts will be the new race leader. And right now that gives him a great vantage point for his restart here, but it's also been a dangerous place to be if you're the race leader. You don't want to be there and have those drivers fan out on you and put you at risk of kind of, you know, just being very vulnerable. That's the concern I would have if I'm in that position. Being vulnerable, be possibly hit as everyone fans out going through up to turn number 1. The pit stops completing here at the track, and you know, for Cory Harts, great position for him to be in right now. Up 11 spots so far this evening, most of anyone so far tonight. Well, we've certainly seen that fluctuate here as the evening goes on. Sartaj Man was having a great run here. Looks like he is 2 laps down right now, still on pit road. Unfortunate for him after having such a strong car out there, and really didn't get to see much out of Landon Mills in tonight's race as well. So right now, under caution here at Circuit of the Americas stage caution, bringing these drivers back together right now. There's a chance to talk about some of the things that are very interesting here in the league, like how our race back at Chicagoland Speedway went. We'll go ahead and bring those results up for you, because what a finish that was. Blaze Brinkley becoming the 4th different winner this season, finishing only about 0.4 of a second ahead of Luke Lofaro, who had a great run going, his best finish of the season so far for that team. Eric Keplinger finishing back in the 3rd position, another good run for that driver. Jordan Coons and Zachary Thornton, your top 5 there after an exciting overtime finish. So always thrilling on the Chicagoland. That's another one of my favorite oval tracks on the schedule. We'll see what they can do when we head to Dover here as we get back to oval racing here momentarily. And this will give us a look at the standings here as we get ready for the restart here. Luke Lofaro is the points leader, 3 over Zachary Thornton. Jordan Coons, 14 out of the lead, with Eric Keplinger and Justin Rector, the top 5. And Lofaro able to maintain that lead, holding it at 3 points over Zachary Thornton, thanks to that strong second place showing back at Chicagoland Speedway. Getting ready for the restart here. 20 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. You know, I always talk about clean races and drivers finishing clean on the track, and there's really been only one driver so far this season who's been able to finish clean on the track a couple of times this season, and it is Jordan Coons. He's the only driver who has finished with no incidents so far during the season. He's done it twice. He did it back at Chicagoland last week, and he did it on his way to Victory Lane back at Chicago at Auto Club. Michael Rizzero won an Auto Club back at Atlanta Motor Speedway. An impressive feat. He's been able to get up here and not only gain position, but do it without incident. And as you know, we've been tracking that clean race finisher award throughout the season. He finished 4th last race with 0 incidents, 128 incidents among 20 drivers. Still, no other drivers have joined him on the standings. That means he is by himself in the lead. 8 points to his credit right now as we've now head towards Circuit of the Americas. And I'll go ahead and throw it out there. We probably won't have any clean race finishers here this evening as well, from the car contacts we've seen, and of course the off-track incidents being counted as well. So hopefully we'll turn that around and have some more going after our race at Dover next week. Of course, our Clean Race Award always brought to you by Circle B Diecast. Use promo code SOUP at checkout for free shipping on orders $20 or more at CircleBDiecast.com. Getting ready for the restart here. Pace car should make its way in this time and let these drivers get back to the racing action with 19 laps to go. See that? This is going to be crazy here in only a few moments in this part of the track. Working their way off of turn number 20. Looking forward to this one. Let's see how they do. Let's see if we have a more calm restart. And Rizzero into the wall. And Alexander Hayder, the stage winner, wrecked into the wall. We're going to rack it back and see what happened there in a moment. But cleanly through turn number 1 is the 57. He'll head down the hill here with Luke Peters in 2nd position. Corey Rexford falls back to 3rd. Let's go and take a look here and figure out what happened there. Rizzero with a lot of damage to his car. We'll go and take a look here and just try to figure out exactly what could have happened in this moment. This is them coming off turn number 20. So maybe just trying to get an advantage on the 99 and just ended up coming across the nose of Alexander Hayder. Look at that again, see if we can get a blimp cam on that for you. Be real tight here, just watch from above the grandstands here. Hopefully we can still see the shot, just getting out of the way of the stands. 23 that white car there, and just I think trying to continue to keep the advantage on the 99. Wasn't noticing that the 84 was to his inside and took him out right there. Look at it one more time here again. See if we can get it from a different angle. Just show as many perspectives as possible. Rizzero, the white car there. Just nowhere for him to go, and the 84 was already established to his inside. Back to live pictures here. They are well back in the field, 8th and 9th respectively. Alexander Hayder won a stage a little bit earlier this evening. That's a lot of damage to both of their cars there. Still leading this race right now is Cory Harts in the 57. He's got a whole mirror full of Luke Peters trying to close in. Jordan Coons back into 4th position trying to close up on Cory Rexford. Cory Harts, Cory Rexford both came to pit road on lap number 12 to get serviced. 4 tires and fuel for them, and then they came back in during a stage caution and went ahead and just did a very short service, about 5 seconds for each of them, with some fuel, and went back on the track to inherit 1st and 2nd position coming in for this lap as Luke Peters locks it up there, fights to hang on to that car, and he'll maintain 2nd, but lose time to Cory Harts heading up the hill. So watching that number 50 work his way down this track here, having a good run so far this season is the 50. He's had some flashes of speed here. I think one of the races I was really impressed with was his run back at Auto Club Speedway, but unfortunately was involved in a late crash in the closing moments of that race among the leaders, which kind of just dampened that whole race for him. But he is showing some incredible pace here right now as he tries to close up on the back bumper of the 57. Jordan Coons trying to find a way to get up to Nick Miller and Cory Rexford there, as Nick Miller now showing a little more speed out here as well. Trying to get back up to the back bumper of that Chevrolet there as they work off the corner. Nick Miller has been inside the top 5 all of this evening, and he'll go and lunge down to the inside and look to try and make a pass going down into turn number 11. As this happens, looks like the O3 missed the corner there, which will allow easy passage for the 99. And now possibly set up a battle between the 19 and the 99 heading down into turn number 12. So hanging on the shot here. There we go. Trying to make the move. Goes left, goes right. Stays right here as the 19 keeps him to the outside there. And you see the 99 fighting for grip there in that car. Just kind of wiggling it just to get that car to lock up there and just kind of get onto the track. Sometimes it just feels like you're not in the track right now, especially on these new tires. And they're trying to do that here as the 99 smokes the tires a little bit coming through that corner there as Luke Peters tries to continue to place the fight to the back bumper of Cory Harts. Jordan Coons looking to the inside here, not able to get there just yet, but he'll settle right now for the 4th position. But great speed forming right now between these drivers. Good lap times here, 2:15.9 and 0.99 for Nick Miller. A little bit faster was Jordan Coons. So still watching this battle right now inside the top 5, and another battle for the lead potentially brewing here. As closing up real nice right now is the 50 of Luke Peters, about 0.3 of a second behind Cory Harts. Up the hill here, we'll see the 57 can continue to play good defense, smoking those rotors there. You see them glowing as they work their way off the hill. Fishtailing a little bit there to 57, which will allow the 50 to close up pretty quickly there. Not able to get there just yet. We'll see if they'll try to get the run through turns 3 and 6. So they'll stay nose to tail through here. The 57 trying to keep that car grounded in the track there, putting the power down as quick as he can. But all of this while both Nick Miller and Jordan Coons begin to reel them in. This group all within about 2 seconds of the race leader. So we're looking at this group here. You see Luke Peters right now trying to look to the inside. He gets the run. They'll fight it out down into turn number 11. Well, they missed the corner though. The 50 gets in there a little hot. The 57 has to adjust his line. He'll get the run on the inside. And this is just the visual that the 19 and the 99 want to see right now. He wants to see those two cars fighting each other to allow their ability to fight them a little bit more easy. Now the gap down to a second for these front four. Cory Harts fighting back on the inside here. And the 19 looking to the low side on the 50. And there's contact. The 50 gets sideways. They hang on to it. The 99 trying to capitalize. He'll lunge to the low side and go from at least fourth, and he'll catch that curve. That curve is angry. You don't want to get up on that curve too often, and they're going to fight each other real hard down into this corner. We've seen a time or two these cars get real feisty through this corner. Not making a reference to A.G. Allmendinger and Ross Chastain at all. Not at all. Race their way off of turn number 16 and 17 as Cory Harts tries to drive away here to lead 1.7 over the race leaders. Jordan Coons was up to second at one point during that sector. Now he's back to fourth. Everyone trying to use all that real estate out here. The 19 down to the low side of the track. He'll get that spot away and hang on to that second position to 50. Hanging tight in the third position. Man alive, great racing here right now. We'll go a little further back. And we see these drivers had some issues getting off the track there. And now watching these drivers trying to flip back and forth to all the racing action. We'll check back in to see what happened to Corey Rexford and Colton Lights. Down the hill goes the front four, though, cleanly through turn number 2 into 3 through 6. We'll take a look at what happened to these two drivers here down the hill off of turn number 19. Looks like just missed the corner there and nowhere for the Golden Lights machine there to go. Just kind of got, sorry, the 61 got a little loose there, and the 03 tried to get around him and just, unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time for him. Look at it again here from our pit lane camera. See him coming into the picture here. There's the Ally machine, gets down low, loses the grip on the car, and just snaps the other way. That's been a characteristic of these next-gen cars a lot this season. Going back to live pictures here, looking back at the battle for the lead. Cory Harts has a whole windshield full of Nick Miller. Luke Peters also in the thick of things as Jordan Coons has fallen a little back from this group. Down to the low side, Nick Miller looking to get the challenge to Cory Harts. Nick Miller, he is your series champion, making his appearance back here this evening. Winning back in season number 5, there's contact between the 57 and the 19. That'll allow the 50 to snake his way through. New leader, Luke Peters. Will that stay the case, though? And the 19 gets sent around. He'll spin it around here and try and get back going, but he'll lose touch with the leaders. They're laying it all out here right now. We'll get a replay here and show that to you again. So the initial contact at 57 and a 19, the 50 snakes his way through. Down into the corner, getting real defensive. The 50 comes down right into the side of the 19, and around he goes, spins it back around the track, and he'll look to get back going here. Back to live pictures. Now he's kind of out of the picture right now as the 19 is in the thick of a bit of a battle with the 61 and the 25 all around him. The 61 is Colton Lights there. 61 not able to hold a position. That should get Nick Miller. He'll try and fight back on the outside with the 61 there. He'll get the advantage going up the hill. The next car he'll have to fight is that Alexander Hayder machine going up the hill right now. Making their way through turns 3 and 6, though. That front 3 continues to dwindle. Now only 3 cars in this group as Cory Harts leads Jordan Coons and Luke Peters. All these drivers within 0.8 of a second of each other. 15 laps to go in our night here at Circuit of the Americas, and man alive, this race has just been, it's been a dogfight for these drivers. They have just been trading blows around this track, using their cars and just muscling around each other. The 50 now lunges down the outside. He'll try and carry that speed into the corner. The 99, too hot. Has to lock him up, gets into the sand trap. That's going to hurt him a lot there. That will now stretch this field back out again. Jordan Coons now 2 seconds behind Cory Harts. Cory Harts now with an 0.8 of a second advantage over Luke Peters. Michael Rizzero somehow in all of this back inside the top 5, running into 4th position, and Alexander Hayder sitting in the 5th position with Cory Rexford closing in on him. Nick Miller just behind that group as well. You see him climbing the hill, heading down to the end of the straightaway here. You see What that map on the right side of the screen doesn't really show you is just the constant elevation changes here. This place is just undulating in terms of how it goes up and down constantly around this 3-mile road course. So watching them work their way through this sector of track, making their way off 17 and 18. Cory Harts still leading, but the lead now down to 4/10 of a second. Jordan Coons touching now within 1 second of them as he's quickly closed back up on this group. Jordan using all the speed he has, all the capability he has as the 57 gets loose, putting the power down, coming off the corner. Riding along with Jordan Coons in the 99 heading up the hill. Now for the lead through his windshield. He'll look to try and grab it here. Jumping out, swings wide, back down the hill. Wow, you really see them laying those moves out there, trying to get the one up on each other, climbing that hill. Now snaking their way off turns 3 through 6 right now. They head towards 7 and 8. Luke Peters back out front here, capitalizing on turn number 1 as we watch through the windshield of Jordan Coons. And now with a 57 have another go at him at the hairpin. Laying it all out there here, but remember, Cory Harts is going to have a whole mirror full of that 99 as well. These are 3 very good road course racers here right now. They're laying it all out there. No one misses the corner that time through there, but they'll get single file, and we'll see the battle commence down the straightaway here as the 57 has issues getting that car back up to speed. Means he'll be vulnerable to a possible attack from the 99 down the straightaway here, passing by us, heading toward turn 12. He'll get the spot. So Coons back up to second. Now Luke Peters out front. As we noted in our setup, 14 laps to go. Coming into tonight's race, we've had 4 different winners in their first 4 races this season. It's been crazy. We saw Aaron Plemons head to victory lane back at Daytona. We saw Jordan Coons win at Atlanta. Then we followed it up with Michael Rizzero winning at Auto Club, and then concluding with Blaze Brinkley winning in Chicagoland. And now Luke Peters leading with only 14 left in our race. Cory Harts has some issues here with the handling of that car. We know he has some challenges coming off turn 20. The last lap seems like maybe the tires may be giving up on him just a little bit. Not able to put that power down. He's now back to about 1.2 seconds behind the race leaders as the 99 lunges to the inside, tries to take the fight to the 50. He may be able to assert himself there as the 50 can't quite drive away. Passing by us here at the front stretch, they climb up toward turn number 1. Side by side, the 99 will take the aggressive approach, and he'll get maybe a bump there, maybe just off the bumper is Luke Peters, and they'll drive down off turn 2. Everything is just fine. Great view of the track from above as now we watch the battle for the lead between the 99 and that 50 car. That 50 has been fighting through the field here. Jordan Coons up 9 spots tonight in the 99 car. Cory Harts up 9 spots in the 57 in third. And Luke Peters up 2 this evening. Great view here, heading toward turn number 7 here. We'll see if he gets to run off the corner. If you really can attack turn 7, it sets you up well. I'm sorry, turn 9. It sets you up well for turn number 11. He'll swing it out wide there. We've seen him miss the corner so many times, though. A more conservative approach for the 99. A 50 hopping over the curbing there. He'll stay right on the back bumper of Jordan Coons, and Cory Harts back in the picture here, 0.8 of a second behind the race leader. Great racing here on a road course, and may see another battle for the lead here in only a few moments. Swinging out with Luke Peters to see if there's anything there. Nothing just yet. Heading down to turn number 12. Rolling through 12, 13, and 14 are these guys, and it's been a great show so far. Watching Coons now make his way toward turn number 15, an important sector to go ahead and set up for your turn 19 here. So really, you're setting up these corners many corners before, so if you get a good run off this corner, it'll give you the nice momentum you need to roll through 16 through number 19 here, and it seems to be paying off there for that car as Cory Harts gets wide again. He's just having some handling issues with that car, trying to close back up on his group. Watch him here coming off the corner. 1.6 is the gap between the 57 and the 99. You see there the gap between these drivers in this battle for the first position. Trying to throw the block. There's a 99. May not be able to hold off Luke Peters there going up into the hill, climbing to 1. Side by side there. Look at those rotors glowing. Could be contact. Nearly such. Keeps it off each other. They'll go down the hill here. Will Coons be able to fight back on the inside? He won't. The 50 gets the run off the corner, and for now, he'll go back to the race lead. Out front by about 0.2 of a second, and then it's 1.6 back to Cory Harts. So great move there. That's going to be such a pivotal part of the track here. I think the hairpin right at turn 11, turn number 1, and then I'd say if you really want to see a move, you might see turn 19 become a factor in this race as well. Right where the number 90 car just works through, that's turn 19, and the 90 is working toward turn 20. Just so you know where those numbers are when I call them out. The battle for position goes down into turn number 11. The 50 will keep the 99 out front here for now, but will we see some slipstream help these drivers close up on each other? Cory Harts now almost 2 seconds behind. You see them trying to break up each other's draft, heading down the straightaway. Sailing by us here, Jordan Coons trying to close up, trying to eye up that first road course win here in the Premier Series. The 50 closes the door, keeps that 99 at bay for now. Luke Peters consistently keeping that car at the front right now, up 3 spots tonight. Even though that car looked like it's been through several battles, that thing is still keeping him out front and serving to be a formidable foe for the 99 and the 57. This is our closest battle right now. The next one we'll be watching here is this battle inside the top 5. This is for 4th position between Michael Rizzero, Nick Miller, and Alexander Hayder. Remember, Rizzero and Hayder tangled after the 23 was trying to get to the inside of the 99 on the restarts and ended up coming across the nose of that 84. The 84 winning the stage a little bit earlier this evening. And now they've been mired back here deep in the field. And it's still inside the top 5, though. This is Rizzero holding on to the 5th spot, trying to close up Miller to get up one more position. So right now, looking back at the front, still seeing these drivers fight hard here is now looking back at this group. Luke Peters had some issues and now lost the lead. We'll go and look back at what happened there and get a replay going. So now watching these drivers work their way down into turn number 19. Side by side here. This has been an important sector of the track for these drivers. So just looped it there off the corner, and that's when you're trying to get back into power as quick as you can. That is so easy to happen to you. We'll go and look at it again from this angle. And we'll look at our pit lane camera. You just see him just get back into power and just goes around. Cory Harts swings by him there for second. Now Luke Peters working his way back around the track here. And now out front is Jordan Coons, but he still has to deal with Cory Harts, so the battle is not over yet for this race win, even though we've seen drivers pretty much drop off here as this race goes on. So the number of drivers in this pack, it was about 5 when we got the restart there. Dwindled down to 4, now down to 2 right now, with Luke Peters 6.5 seconds behind Cory Harts. Cory Harts trying to break through here, get himself a victory, and then do it on a road course would probably be very special for him there in the number 57. We know that Cory Harts, he does a lot of road course racing when he's not behind the wheel of a next-gen car or in the studio designing great paint schemes there, like his Spartan Nash machine he's bringing to the track this evening. He's taking part in road course racing. He's very active in the special events scene on iRacing and takes part in various events like, of course, Sebring is on that docket, taking part in the the Daytona iRacing 24 Hours, things like that. Really active in terms of being a road course racer. Same for Jordan Coons, but this is setting up to be a spirited finish here at Circuit of the Americas. In case you missed it earlier in the race, we had our pole sitter for the evening, Dylan Ault, crash out in turn number 1 and didn't even make it around to complete lap number 1. Out of the race very early in the event. Big crash at the top of the hill on the first lap, relegating a lot of these drivers to the back of the field. Cody Webster out early in the event after not qualifying, trying to find a way to get a good finish here Not able to do that. Then further into the race, we saw Alexander Hayder get the stage win, fighting off Jordan Coons and others. But we saw the 57 and Corey Rexford all come to pit road here for an early stop before the stage ended. And then crash involving Michael Rizzero, who was involved in the lap 1 incident, along with Alexander Hayder. They are now falling back to 5th and 6th respectively. And more drivers continue to fall out from this battle, including Nick Miller after earlier contact between himself and a couple of cars racing for the lead. And then also we saw, Luke Peters spin coming up turn 20, dropping him back to 6.3 behind Cory Harts. And that's kind of where we are now at 10 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Jordan Coons trying to drive away here and just manage his race as Cory Harts gets a little hot there, now out front by about 1.8 over to 57. You see the gap on the track there between those two cars growing here, 1.7 to the 57 right now. Talk about Jordan Coons entering tonight's race. Jordan is 3rd in the standings right now, 14 points behind Luke Lofaro, so he's having a very consistent season so far here. You know, what's very interesting in my eyes for Jordan Coons is just his ability to kind of just power through and just overcome adversity, and he's trying to do that here, just finding the speed here, avoiding a lot of the incidents he was involved in. That first lap incident there, going up in turn 1, and now just overcoming those challenges and holding off that 57, who's been very stout here this evening. But the tire is slightly older for Cory Harts there, not by much, but still, every little bit impacts these cars. Remember, Cory Harts came in on lap 12 and came in again with the drivers during the stage caution, but didn't take tires there. It was just a fuel stop for him. So seeing an interesting strategy play out there for that driver of the 57, but it's not paying off just yet. 2.5 behind is the 57 to the 99. How many battles right now in the field, things cooling down a bit. Looking a little further into the field here, we see Michael Rizzero, as we talked about earlier. He was trying to fight to get inside the top 5 there and maybe get up to the 4th position. He's falling back to 6th here as Alexander Hayder now works his way up toward turn number 1. Now back in the top 5 after winning the stage here earlier this evening. Colton Lights had a bit of an issue there earlier in the stage. He's now sitting inside the 8th position here as he now comes back onto the straightaway here, and up and down night, but still up 1 spot on the evening. And then Malachi Drake, we know he had some computer troubles earlier in the evening. He's now sitting in the 9th spot, up 6 spots, hadn't qualified this night. A quiet night here, up 9 spots this evening. Jordan Coons, still not the most gained. This is currently held by Cory Harts, who's up 10 spots this evening. He was up as many as 11 when he was leading the race before the challenge really got heated up there toward the front. You see Luke Peters well back in the shot there, just coming off the apex of the hairpin off of turn number 11. 9 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. We'll go ahead and take another look at our upcoming schedule here on the channel. Some great races on the docket. Next week we'll be going to Dover International Speedway for the Landon Mills Designs Dover 130. 130 laps around that track, and if anyone has been following this series very closely, you know they should know that the driver who's leading this race right now has been very, very strong at Dover International Speedway, a commanding victory last season in the playoffs, helping him to book his ticket to the championship round in the series last season. We'll be watched at 99 and others if we head to that track. 19 if he joins us. Nick Miller also incredibly strong at that track as well. And then, as I mentioned back at the start of the broadcast, we'll be running 2 weeks at Bristol Motor Speedway. Got a great double stint there for 2 weeks, starting on a dirt track at Bristol Motor Speedway, and then we'll be having the Jones Racing Setups race nights at Bristol Motor Speedway on the asphalt tracks. A little bit longer of a race there on the asphalt surface. We'll see who prevails, and can we see someone sweep both races? I think that's possible. I think they could probably do that. That'll lead us into our all-star race, as the race leader has a bit of an issue there, putting the power down. And so does Cory Harts, also has issues climbing the hill. Kind of just a wash there, but I think coming on the worst end of the deal is the 57. 8 laps to go here. He'll fall back to about 4.5 from Jordan Coons. Further down the schedule, that 2-week stint at Bristol will set us up nicely for our All-Star Weekend, the Music City All-Star Showdown at Nashville Super Speedway. That's going to get wild. If you saw the All-Star race last season at Darlington, as I call it, a tornado of cars that crashed going into turn 1 laying it all out there. That is the story of how they run here. This can be a fun night in Music City when we run there. And then Las Vegas Motor Speedway is going to be a great one with the Drake's Brakes 158. They are that track. Great to have Drake's Brakes on as a sponsor for that event. We'll profile them once we get to Sin City in Las Vegas. Hopefully one day we'll see these, we'll do some road course racing on the new F1 track that was announced last week. Some exciting news there for Formula One and more United States racing for those fast Formula One cars. I'm petitioning iRacing to add that track to this service. I want to see the drivers of the Premier Series here run on the streets of Las Vegas. Let's look at your schedule. Full schedule is available on http://redlineleague.com as the 57 goes around. Having trouble here on those older tires now allow Luke Peters and Nick Miller to get by. So dwindling in the field here after having a promising run. The 57 falling back right now. So a lot of these drivers having issues as this run goes on, and we know Cory Harts, those tires a little bit older for him, so has to manage them a little bit better, and he may have used them really up when we talk about his battle with a few cars during the early moments of that second stage here. May have just used up that equipment. Now he's got to nurse this thing home. Looking at the gap right now between himself and the cars behind, he's got 4 seconds to Nick Miller, who passed him after he went for the spin there, but then about 6 back to Alexander Hayder. Leading this race comfortably here by 8 seconds is Jordan Coons in the 99. Talked about it a little bit earlier, but he's had a strong run in terms of performances. He's gotten wins on ovals a lot over his career here in the series. A few in his pocket there, but just kind of coming up short on the road courses. But even still, doesn't mean he's not winning and being able to get on the podium here on road courses. 2 podiums, 5 top 5s on these road courses. One of my favorite races to watch with him was last season, his battle with Freddie Gardner at Watkins Glen International. Such a dogfight there. Watched him fight here on the channel and putting on a great show for us. Came down to pit strategy and tire aid and tire degradation, which ultimately saw the 55 go to victory lane there. Unfortunately, we didn't see a lot of Freddie Gardner in this race either. Brody is a tremendous road racer as well. We talk about Jordan Coons. Comes into this race, a strong season for him overall as well. When we look at that season performance, he's been one of the best right now. Already has a win this season, led 63 laps back in Atlanta, and 2 stage wins. So the only driver so far this season with multiple stage wins, and coming into this race sitting second in most laps led. The first place position being held by Dylan Ault, 152 laps coming into this evening's event. So a comfortable lead here for the 99 right now. Looking through the field, things cooling down pretty much right now. The closest battle we got on track right now is this battle for the second position. As they work their way coming into turn number 15, Luke Peters, Nick Miller. This is a race for second right now. Luke Peters had an adventurous evening here. There's a lot of ups and downs, but now back inside the top 5 and now back in the podium places. Nick Miller looking to try and unseat him from one of those positions. Your season 5 champion looking strong here as this race winds down to its conclusion. Only about a half dozen laps left in our evening here at COTA. Keeping our eyes on this battle here, we'll jump in and look at Nick Miller as they work their way and climb the hill here toward turn number 1. Up through the gears, they are hauling the brakes here down in the second gear and down to first as he gets in a little hot there. Swinging out wide, we'll look at the wider camera. He will grab the position away with ease. And now Nick Miller up into second position, up 3 spots so far tonight. So not sure if Luke Peters just didn't feel like being in that fight right now and just kind of let it go, but he will fall back to the 3rd position, still retaining a podium place and still up 1 from where he started the evening. So that's one of the only battles we have on the track right now. We'll keep our eyes on it as they snake their way up toward turn number 7, through 7 up to 8 and into 9. Down the hill here, passing by us in turn number 9 into number 10 and then into 11, which has been a key part of the track for these drivers. We've seen the dive bomb take place here a few times. Nothing this time. Maybe trying to set them up for a battle into turn number 12. So single file right now, looking at the gap between these two again. We'll bring up that relative information, about 0.5 of a second separating them in this battle for the second position. Jordan Coons already into that interior section, heading toward turn number 13. Great shot here. Not much for Luke Peters in that regard going into turn 12. We'll watch him pass by us here as they work into 13 and 14 and see if any opportunities present themselves. Seems like Nick Miller just has a little more speed in that car right now, that 19, able just to get the power down just a little bit better than that number 50, and able to drive off the corner well. And you see now the lead up to about nearly a second as they work their way around this beautiful carousel by the tower, heading down toward turn number 19. So now the battle beginning to cool down here, to lead out to about 1.2 between Nick Miller and Luke Peters. You hear him there changing those gears, working that car down to the corner, and able to get it back going and drive off here in the lead, holding around 1.1. One of the only battles we have on the track right now. We'll keep our eye on to see if maybe Luke Peters is able to close up here, but looking at the pace right now, not much from Luke Peters, not much he can bring in terms of a fight to the 19. Really strong right now, and when we look at the last lap times, he was faster than Jordan Coons, and Jordan Coons has a whole clear racetrack ahead of him, and the 19 was having to deal with a battle there going into turn number 1. So I know he's a little far back here, maybe not enough time to try and close that gap up here. Don't think we'll have another Richmond Raceway scenario like we saw last weekend. I don't think we're going to see him drive back from an 8-second gap right now unless something dramatic were to happen. But the 19 showing some strong pace here with only 5 laps to go here in Austin. Looking through the field here, settling down in the 4th position is Cory Harts. He had some issues with handling that car. We know we've seen him come into pit road there around lap 12. A little bit older of tires in that car, but it seemed like after having to battle and fight to keep that lead for so long, with the car beginning to go away from there, he'll miss the corner in turn 11, go out wide and forced to hang on to it and regather it here. So really not helping him in terms of being able to close back up on the cars ahead. He's about 7.9 seconds behind Luke Peters, and we were watching that great battle between Nick Miller and Luke Peters a little bit earlier, and he's now 17 seconds behind Jordan Coons. And when we talk about that, put it in perspective for you, remember he was battling for the lead with Jordan Coons not too long ago, so that car really beginning to just drift away from him here. Now you're in triage mode, just trying to nurse this machine home right now. Look at the position on track. The green circle obviously indicating the car we're watching right now, and as we're looking at the 99, just heading into turn number 19 there. So you see the gap kind of beginning to really open up there, and not a lot of time to close that gap up here. No cautions except for our stage back around lap number 13. We're still inside the top 5 here, having a long evening, trying to fight to keep this race alive, but sitting in the 4th position with Alexander Hayder working that car around here. That thing has been through a bit of a thing here or two back on the restart, but he's doing a good job of keeping that car on track and trying to get a good finish out of this top 5 finish for him if he can hold on to it, only 4 laps away. Working down to turn number 3 is Jordan Coons, right behind Landon Mills, another driver who's very talented on road courses but hasn't been able to show much of that here this evening. Sitting deep in the field there in the 10th position, now about to go 1 lap down. You see the damage to that car here as they work their way around the track. So just not the evening the 25 was hoping to have here as they now snake up their way up toward turn number 9. So now looking to the inside, going by the 25 is a 99. Jordan Coons, he'll clear him there, putting him 1 lap down. So only about 9 cars left in the lead. Lap 2 cars still stationary in their pits, effectively out of the race. Sartaj Mann and Cody Webster. And then another 4 drivers out of the race. Latham Joyner, Aaron Brown. We saw his issues earlier in the evening. Dylan Ault involved in that crash there, getting the pole and crashing going into turn number 1. There's an issue there, lost the car, went around and effectively out of the race. And Freddie Gardner, didn't see much from him this evening either, involved in that earlier incident on lap 1. Well, that's your leader right there. The lead has come down somewhat too, as the 25 had to deal with that lap traffic there. So that may have helped the 19 close up just a little bit, but that's still a bit of a gap to try and make up here. We're looking at about 5.8, the deficit between these two cars here. We'll go and swing that camera around. There he is exiting turn number 15 heading into 16. And there's Nick Miller exiting that same set of corners there. So theoretically, one could say the time is beginning to dwindle, but he's trying to play it all out there here. Maybe another mistake could open the door for the opportunity. Looking ahead, not much lap traffic for Jordan Coons ahead. You're looking at Malachi Drake being over 1 minute and 50 seconds behind before he's in danger of going a lap down. So you're looking at him needing to lose another about 10 to 20 seconds before that becomes a conversation we need to have. But in any case, the lead now, 5.9 seconds for race leader Jordan Coons. 3 laps to go here at Circuit of the Americas. Down the hill here into turn number 2. The 99 comfortably able to do just that, maintain the position here. Luke Peters trying to rope in that Nick Miller machine, the gap about 3.7 seconds. Remember, they were racing side by side momentarily through this exact section, and then basically yielding the battle was the 50 of Luke Peters, and really just went a sail of the 50 from there. So really haven't seen much from him in terms of being able to jockey for that next higher podium position this evening, but seems to be content running inside the top 5 here, holding on to that 3rd position. As we mentioned, Cory Harts, Alexander Hayder rounding out the top 5. Corey Rexford, a lot of damage to his car. Then kind of an up and down night. He came to pit road with Cory Harts back on lap 12 to play the strategy, restarted in the 2nd position, and kind of just drifted back from there after being involved in a number of incidents, and now holding on to the 7th position. Further back, Colton Lights making his way past the beautiful tower here, heading into 19, up 1 spot, currently in 8th spot, and then Malachi Drake holding on to the 9th position, up 6 spots this evening. So Malachi Drake working his way through this very tight section of the track, coming into turn number 15, and not too far away is our race leader, Jordan Coons, leading this race here, looking to get 2 to go this time by. The lead slowly dwindling here down to 5.4 seconds, and we'll do a comparison between these 2 drivers here, looking at the lap time. So we're having some challenge there because the laps are getting invalidated because they're going off track. So I'm not going to be able to show you too much of the data there because, again, of the invalidation of lap times when you're going off track, and these are the guys who are swinging these cars out wide, trying to maximize that position, like we see the 25 doing, going out for an adventure out there on the track there, going wide onto the Whataburger decal there in between 19 and 20. And just behind him is Nick Miller, just coming off of turn 20 for 2 laps to go. The lead now 5.7 between Jordan Coons and the 99, Jordan Coons and the 19. And he'll get sideways there. That's a Tokyo drift if I've ever seen one. A 25 tries to get by, trying to hang on to that car. How much will this cut into the lead of the 99? That's about a second plus shaved off there. Nick Miller has now closed into about 3.8 seconds right now. Hopping in here, seeing and riding along with that 19. But still can't quite see Jordan Coons, barely there. If you look, you squint hard enough, you can see him working his way a couple of corners ahead, and still has that 25 to deal with as well. And the lead continuing to dwindle here. Could this be, I don't know, could be very interesting here. 2.5 seconds now the gap between these two, as Jordan Coons now fights to try and get around that 25, who is just giving him fits here to stay on the lead lap. 25 right there on the bumper. You couldn't have walked in between the gap between the 25 and the 99 there. So the gap now 3 seconds as they head down this straightaway for their second to last time around Circuit of the Americas. So very interesting here, the dynamic right now. The lead down to 3 seconds, but can Nick Miller somehow find 3 seconds? Will Jordan Coons make another mistake here? Are the tires giving up for him here? 2.8 is the gap here. Still fighting with that car, trying to keep it straight there, and the 25 is giving no room. Back to the inside he goes as he tries to fight to stay on the lead lap. The lead now down to 2.2 seconds. Out wide goes the 25. He'll get away from the 99, and they'll head through turns 16 through 18. No detail here, down to 19. So all that jockeying the 99 had to do with the 25, causing Nick Miller to close up and cut that lead down tremendously. It's now 2.1 between these two, and the 25 is just unrelenting in his pursuit of the 99. Coming off turn number 20, coming to receive a white flag here. It's the final lap here at Circuit of the Americas, presented by Cory Harts Media. 1.8 is the lead between Nick Miller and Jordan Coons. We're going to see what happens here, because it's going to get real wild here as this run goes on up the hill. He had issues here last time. Much better job this time going down. Coming through turn 2, holds on the position. Now it's 1.7 as he swings out wide. The 25 is just stalking him in his mirror. Remember, that car's on the lead lap here. That's the 10th place Landon Mills. One lap down here, trying to unlap himself and just finish on the lead lap in tonight's race. All this while, the 19 continues to lurk about 2 seconds behind Jordan Coons. Climbing the hill here. This is turn 9, down to 10. Still applying pressure here to 25, just not going away. He is very, very fast right now. On the outside, locks him up. Sails onto the Monster Energy decal. The lead now holding right now, and climbs as Nick Miller has issues through that corner as well. Relieving the pressure now is Jordan Coons. Is now a bit of a breathing room for him as he heads down the straightaway here for the last time. That lead sailed up there. We'll take a look at what happened here as they work their way around the track. So we see again, looking at them work their way up in this corner, and just Nick Miller comes in hot there and trying to, I guess, maybe got a little too hot there and had to avoid the 25, made contact with him. Back to live pictures here, working his way through the final corners. This is turn number 15, where a lot of the chaos this evening has taken place. He'll look to get through here cleanly. The lead now 2.2 and dropping, but there's no need for the 99 to give any sort of pressure here. He'll go ahead and work his way down to turn number 19. What a crazy race here this evening. That's the best way I can describe it. This was a crazy event here at Circuit of the Americas. So much excitement, a lot of lead changes, and now coming off the corner one last time, Jordan Coons will take the checkered flag here at Circuit of the Americas. He is your victor here this evening. Nick Miller will finish in the second position. Luke Peters, Cory Harts surviving for a top 4 finish, and Alexander Hayder, the top 5. Michael Rizzero, Corey Rexford, Colton Lights, Malachi Drake completing the top 8. It's our top 9. Landon Mills finishing 10th, 1 lap down. So well-earned celebration there for Jordan Coons, and he becomes the first repeat winner this season. So we end this streak at 4 different winners, just one short of tying the record back in season number 3. A burnout there with Cory Harts in the middle of that as well. So great job by those drivers, and we'll get ready for our post-race show and go through what was a crazy evening here at Circuit of the Americas. Hopefully we'll hear from some of these drivers here momentarily as the 99 continues to celebrate this victory, his first on a road course this in his career here in the series, and a well-earned victory as well. So now, waiting for everyone to get settled in here, we'll begin those driver interviews once everyone heads into the booth. So waiting for the drivers to head in here. Another good show, as we mentioned, heading to Dover, back to some oval racing. We've got a while until we have another road course here on the schedule, and we hope that the action delivers on the same level that this race delivered this evening. A lot of excitement and great action on the track, and we hope for similar situations when we head to our next road course, which will be Watkins Glen International in the playoffs. So that's going to be a fun one. We always know Watkins Glen is one of those crazy tracks to go to, and we'll look forward to seeing what the drivers do once we head there. We've got a while to get there. That's like close to the summertime when we get into the playoffs before we head to that track here. So waiting for 5th place, Alexander Hayder, to go ahead and join our waiting room, and then we'll start talking to these drivers one by one and hear from them and get their insights on what was a crazy race out there. And you know what, we'll go ahead and get back to Alexander Hayder here if he doesn't join momentarily. We'll go ahead and start working through our interviews here and begin with our 4th place finisher, Cory Harts, who had a good run out there. He really fought hard to try and get that W, and just had some issues there as the second run went on, and he finished into 4 spots. Driver of the 57 Toyota, Cory Harts, you got us.
Yes, sir.
So talk to us about your night out there, and kind of, I guess, walk us through that first incident going into 1. What did you see? on the first lap, and just talk kind of briefly about your race and getting to the end of this event.
Yeah, on the first lap incident, I saw everyone wrecking, and then I saw Sartajman in front of me. So then that was my goal to get past him, and I didn't because I spun. But yeah, that was pretty much that, and kind of happy that took out a whole bunch of people. And yeah, from then spun out when I was running up front, and then because these cars are just so twitchy in the first few laps, so spun out there, and then that dropped me back. And I don't know why nobody else thought of this doing the same strategy. Well, me and the other Cory did it. I guess the Corys are just the smart ones, right? Um, we both pitted like a lap before the stage and got fuel and tires, but then we came back in and just topped off with fuel uh, under the stage caution, so we had enough fuel to make it to the end just like everyone else did.
Hmm.
Uh, and that put, I think me and him were 1-2 there. So yeah, that happened, and that got me up front for a little bit. I led some laps, I think, and then from there, fell back a little bit. Had some good battles up front there. Um, it was interesting the dynamic of the how the dynamic of the incredibly relaxed track limits changed things there. I'm sure that from a road racer's perspective, you were probably screaming inside with the track limit stuff. But yeah, and then ended up spinning and falling back to fourth where I ended up finishing. I was hoping that, I mean, I still would have probably gotten passed by Nick and maybe Luke, but I was hoping that I would have been able to fight him for it that way. Jordan would have had a little bit more of a buffer there at the end, but he still won, so all is good.
Yeah, great run there, and we have the road course coming up here later in the season at Watkins Glen. What knowledge do you think you'll be able to bring from this race to that track later in the season?
Honestly, I mean, except for, your basic sort of, I feel like I've learned a decent bit with the next gen here. Because I've raced it plenty on oval, but not enough on road courses. So I've learned quite a bit here and just how the car drives. So, I mean, from the terms of how the tracks are, they're about as far apart as you can get in terms of the style of tracks. So, but just the general knowledge of how the car feels and whatnot, how the cars react, and how the brakes take a while to heat up in these cars. That'll all transfer over. So that'll be
Awesome. Well,
helpful.
that was some exciting racing to watch, and great to have you part of that. And before we let you go, anyone you want to shout out or mention as you enjoy a fourth place finish this evening?
I'll shout out our sponsors. Let me pull that up real quick. Sticker Boost, Trey Shuttlesworth Photography, Rexford Engineering. Corey Rexford being in the race today. It was cool to see him racing in Redline. Also Garage Door and Openers, Cory Harts Media, Jones Racing Setups, One Call Concepts, and Tabor Accounting.
Gotcha. Well, good
And
run out
also,
there. Oh,
sorry,
sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off. One more, shout out to Splash and Go and Cosman for just completing our new paint schemes. Uh, you probably got to see Aaron running that paint scheme, but he had some bad luck. But yeah, Cosman got us some new paint schemes, and they look really nice. So shout out to him.
Awesome. Well, always appreciate the time and congratulations on a good run. And look forward to seeing what you do when we have more races this season. Of course, we'll always watch when we head to these road courses and if you join us for those short tracks because you're one of those tough short track drivers. So we look forward to seeing what you do when we get further into the season.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. We'll keep moving through our interviews here. The next driver we'll bring in is the driver who finished in the fifth position. Kind of an up and down night, but still got that stage win and a top five to boot. Gaining 8 spots on the evening was the driver of the 84 Chevrolet. Alexander Hayder, do you got us?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Talk to us about your night out there. What did you see in that first lap incident out there going into one? And then talk to us about your evening overall.
Well, to be honest, when we were entering turn one, I had a feeling that something like that was going to happen. They were all bunched up and they're all four. They looked like they were 4 or 5 wide entering turn one. I had a feeling it was going to happen, and luckily it did, and I was able to avoid it. And in general, we had the pace. We had the pace to win the race. We won the stage, but we got kind of cleaned out on that second restart. But it was a good day. It was top 5.
How did the car feel out there? Because you weren't just kind of racing by yourself. You were in battles throughout there. For you, where did you feel like you were able to wield the car best when it turns to playing offense out on the track?
for me at least, I feel like the heavy braking zones, basically both the heavy braking zones, were pretty good for me.
Gotcha. So as that run went on, we know you kind of had those issues there, did a lot of damage to that car. How was it trying to drive that car back up to the front, getting yourself to top 5?
Well, we didn't really have much pace to catch the leaders at all, so I was just hoping we could catch the other damaged cars, and I'm pretty sure I did at least catch all of them. I might be wrong.
Gotcha. Well, you like I said, you look stout out there. Now we're going back to oval racing. Got Dover on the schedule next week. What are your thoughts on Dover, and do you think you can bring some similar speed there? Do you have some good experience there?
Haven't really run much Dover at all with these cars, so it's going to be a blind experience. See what happens.
Gotcha. Anyone you want to shout out or mention before I let you go?
Thank you, Chris Lilly, for letting me race.
Awesome. Well, always good having you in here. I look forward to seeing what you do when we head back to the East Coast and Dover next week.
Thank you.
All right, we'll keep moving through our interviews here. The next driver we'll bring in will be the driver of the 50, Luke Peters, who had a really good evening overall, just really in the mix most of the night, even led some laps as well. So we'll get him in here and hear from him and talk to him about what was an interesting. Now, the track that's gaining one spot on the evening was the driver of the 50, Luke Peters. Do you got us?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Talk to us about your night out there. How did the car drive, and what did you see on lap 1, turn 1?
Yeah, and the car felt good. I felt like I had a good car. And then going to turn 1, I just saw people miss the corner, and then I saw a wall and a bunch of people running into the left side of me, and I just got sandwiched, and I think every single person missed that corner, so that was kind of funny to see.
So for you, where did you find the car to be most impactful in terms of being able to attack and try and gain position? Where did you enjoy using that car most in terms of offense on this track?
Into the hairpins. I mean, pretty much everywhere, really. Just trying to cross people over. Especially down that backstretch hairpin, trying to cross people over going into there. It was good. I think I had some contact too, but fun. It was a fun race.
Yeah, we know you've had some up and down race here. We know you ran really well back at Auto Club Speedway and then had some bad luck there at the end with that wreck with the leaders. As we go further into the season, we've got Dover, we've got Bristol for 2 weeks, and Nashville all on the docket. What are some tracks you're looking forward to? Do you think you can bring some more speed to some of these oval tracks?
Yeah, at Auto Club and Atlanta, I felt like I had good top 5 cars, and then got taken out late. So good to just finish, and I think I've had good pace all so far this year. So I think hopefully we can just continue that going forward to every track.
Awesome. Well, we'll certainly be watching you here, and good run this evening, really surviving a lot of the challenges thrown at you and surviving what was a tornado of cars going up into turn 1, all missing the apex there on that first lap. And congratulations on getting a good finish on the podium. Anyone you want to shout out or mention before we let you go?
Yeah, thanks. You for broadcasting, Adam's for putting on this race, and everyone else for making it a fun race.
Awesome. Always good talking to you. I look forward to seeing what you do when we head to Dover Downs next week.
Thank you.
All right, that means we'll go ahead and give a mention. Congratulations to Nick Miller, finishing second this evening, 1.7 seconds behind Jordan Coons. And we'll go ahead and bring in our race winner, the 99 of Jordan Coons, going to victory lane here in Austin. First road course win for him in the Premier Series, and sure, a very sweet one for him, considering he is the first repeat winner this season, having gone to victory lane a few weeks ago back at Atlanta. Jordan Coons, you got us.
Yes, I do.
Talk to us about one. We'll begin with, how does it feel to break through and finally get that road course win? You're always a driver we watch closely. You always come up so close. Now you've finally broken through and gotten it.
I think winning this race, it was just more about keeping the car on track and keeping it clean. As with the first lap collision or pile up, I got some damage, but I didn't get a lot, and then that took out some big names, and later on a few other extras got some more big names. So just more about surviving, not making mistakes, and bringing it home.
What was interesting to me was just watching where you guys opted to attack and where it was all about defense. For you, I want to ask you a 2-part question. Where did you feel most comfortable attacking with your car? And where did you feel like you played the best defense with your car?
I mean, I think with this car, I felt like I would to defend. It would just hold your line, don't make a mistake. and you could do that more or less in the slow corners or down the long straights. And during attacking, I did saw it in the whenever people took a wider entry, and maybe if I got in the later braking point and didn't lock up the brakes and almost hit people, but it was almost any time that you got an opportunity, I would try to pass.
At the beginning, were you struggling with the hairpin at all? Going beyond that first lap incident, once things began to settle down, what were your kind of challenges going up into turn one? Because it seemed like you would lose some time there. Were you able to finally get the car positioned the way you wanted to going into one and be able to play defense better?
I think this car, this next gen or Gen 7, it's more of a confidence car. The more confident you are, the more consistent, more faster you will be. And I feel like every time I locked up, it's because I tried to push it more, or maybe because I've lost the confidence from the last lap. And it was just and once you locked up the brakes, you couldn't get them unlocked, so hard to stop it.
Finally, you're the first multi-time winner this season, winning back in Atlanta this season. You've been very consistent so far. Coming in here, you're third in the points entering tonight's race. What does this do for you going into, I'm sure you love to hear this, going into Dover next week?
It means I can attack more, maybe play a riskier strategy, try different things, and means I can afford maybe a bad week or two, so I don't need to be as consistent as I have been in the past.
Jordan Coons is one of the best to watch when it comes to attacking Dover, but of course, we always have the unknown of the next gen car. We'll see how he approaches it next week when we head to Delaware and Dover Downs. But before we let you go, is there anyone you want to shout out or mention as you enjoy your second win of the season here in the Redline Racing Austin Grand Prix?
Shout out to everybody at Proximity Racing, all the teammates, all the sponsors, the Bruzy Racewear, Cory Harts Media, and of course Jones Racing Setup. And I'd like to thank him for also providing the setup for this race. To me, I thought it was very nice since I won.
I'm sure you were just the number one top rated review of that setup. It got you to victory. So congratulations to you for that. And we look forward to seeing what you do when we head to Dover, where you are the defending winner next week.
Thank you.
All right, we'll wrap up things here on the broadcast. What an exciting night of road course racing here on the channel. As you can tell, I get very animated when it comes to covering road course races. I love the action and drama we saw there. A lot of great battles across the track, and hopefully that will translate over to when we head back onto the East Coast and the Dover International Speedway, for which should be a fun night of racing in the Landon Mills Designs Dover 130 here on the channel. Of course, coverage beginning at 7:20 as usual. And I'm going to go ahead and take a breath. What a night on the track here, and I'm so proud of all the drivers out there putting on a great show for us. And congratulations again to Jordan Coons going to victory lane. He breaks the streak of multiple winners to start the season. We end at 4, just short of the record. We'll see you back here 1 week from this evening for some racing at the Monster Mile.